Why does two negatives make a positive? What do you think we get when we multiply negative 3 with negative 3? That's right, positive 9. Now, let me ask you something harder. Can you give me a real world example of why a negative times a negative become positive? Think about it. I know you can try, but I'll bet it's not as simple as it looks. As you know, this is a number line. It helps us to understand many things. Like when we add two numbers, we move to the right side, and for subtraction, we move to the left side. And one more thing, multiplication is repeated addition. Now we are ready to go. The first thing we will solve is 2 times 3, that's 6. And we can represent that on number line 2. So 2 times 3 means 2 plus 2 plus 2. If we start from 0, we go 2 steps to the right, then 2 more, then 2 more, that's 6. But what if we write minus 2 instead of 2? Now we have minus 2 times 3, that's negative 6. We can write it as minus 2 plus minus 2 plus minus 2. Starting from 0, we jump to the left side from minus 2, then minus 4, and finally minus 6. Till now, everything makes sense and easy to grasp. But here's where the problem starts. How can we write negative 2 times negative 3? In repeated addition model, you would have to add negative 2, negative 3 times. Pause this video and think about it. What we want is to add negative 2, negative 3 times. If 2 times 3 means 2 plus 2 plus 2, then what about minus 2 times minus 3? We would get something like minus minus 2 minus minus 2 minus minus 2. Now, if we simplify that, each minus minus 2 becomes plus 2. So it's turned out into 2 plus 2 plus 2, that's 6. Wait, what just happened? The negatives cancelled before we even started. It's look like the math says it's positive, but why? We start at 0 and we want to jump to minus 2. Now the multiplication tells us do that negative 3 times. And this is where the number line completely breaks. What does negative 3 times even mean? Do we jump left or do we jump right? If we jump left, we get minus 6. But that's the answer for a negative time a positive. It's not working. Let's try one more time. We start at 0 and we jump to minus 2. Now, what if we try moving right this time? One jump of plus 2 bring us back to 0. Another takes us to plus 2 and another to plus 4. But that still doesn't match minus 2 times minus 3. The number line just can't make sense of it. So even on the number line, we can't clearly show negative times a negative. That's where things get weird. But math still say the answer must be positive 6. Because if we don't make negative times negative equal positive, everything else in math just breaks apart. Here's a quick check. We know that 0 can be written as number plus its opposite. So 0 equals 2 plus negative 2. Now let's multiply both sides by negative 3. 0 times negative 3 is still 0. But on the right side, we get 2 plus negative 2 times negative 3. Let's expand that using the distributive law. So 0 equals 2 times negative 3 plus negative 2 times negative 3. We already know 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So that's mean 0 equals negative 6 plus negative 2 times negative 3. Now to keep this equation balanced, negative 2 times negative 3 must be positive 6. And that's the only way maths stay consistent. So yes, we can prove it mathematically, but it really doesn't make any sense in our physical world. It's like saying negative time. It works in the equation, but it doesn't exist around us. You can't have minus 3 seconds passing. How can something that's like decreasing and decreasing suddenly create an increase? It is beyond our normal experience. Maybe a higher dimensional being could see it clearly, just like a 4D creature can see shapes we can't even imagine. For us, it's pure math, logical, consistent, and mysterious. If you have any good example, you can write it down in the comment section because I'm busy measuring Burj Khalifa with just a stick.